Nairobi, you Kenyans have to be stopped because your cancel culture is just too much. They have ran every single Black American out of Nairobi. At this point, I'm convinced that people in Nairobi can run lions out of the safari. When they're done with you, you tigers, lions, and bears are all gonna be gone, okay? Everyone knows when it comes to Nairobi and it comes to Kenyans, if you come for them, they're all gonna go and send their tribes, their clan, and they're all gonna come and get you. And I have been on that side on TikTok where they were cleaning me for filth. I've been there a couple of times, trending. They cut my videos up and post them on all these different places. Child, I got so many thought pieces about me that ain't never came back to me. So I thank y'all for keeping it cute. Okay? But I got so many thought pieces where people be telling me, oh yeah, I saw you on this other page. What'd I do? What'd I do? So I've always been kind of scared to get on the internet here in Kenya and really talk my talk, but I'm about sick of Nairobi and I'm sick of the Kenyan bullying. Guys, it is cyberbullying, whether or not you want to believe it. But what I want to talk about is why people are leaving Nairobi. Why are Black people leaving in droves? They all disappeared at the same time quietly. And guys, this is what makes me different in my experience here in Nairobi, is that, guys, I'm not here for enjoyment. I am not minister or madam of enjoyment. I am literally here because I am trying to suffer through this country to build land, to build wealth, to build real estate. And I have no choice because this is my home. And the way my mama set it up, the way she set it up with the good Lord, is that if you don't figure this place out, you're not going to get no money. It was like a trust without a trust. So she gave you the dirt and it's your job to build it. And I just kind of wish she would have just finished it and let me manage it. But that's when they say generation to generation. So my son will have a different experience, okay? Heck, a much better one than I'm having. So I'm here in Kenya trying to get my life together piece by piece. I want to get into real estate. I want to get into building and construction and all of those things. Guys, that's why I'm here. I also want to learn more about my culture. And to be honest, when you grow up abroad for 30 years, when it comes back to being here in Kenya, it's like you're a new babe, okay? So I'm only like 3 years old when it comes to this continent. But I still do understand the mannerisms of Kenyan people, having grown up with a Kenyan mother, okay? And having been deeply rooted in the more of a local experience while I've been here in Nairobi. So I haven't just been doing the Kilimani things, even though I was, and still could be considered a Kilimani girl. Even right now, I live with proper Kenyans, like all Kenyans. Before, I was living with international, like a mix of people, right? So my experience is also different. Also, as a mom, guys, when you're a mom, you get a very local experience. Okay? Like, I had teacher parent day for my 4-year-old, and I didn't know, what am I supposed to, what are you telling me he's doing? I don't understand. First, I want to talk about the cancel culture and then Shia Jackson, okay? Because she was not wrong about what she said. And I, too, had the same thought process. But you're going to have to stick with me before you cancel me, okay? But can't nobody cancel Charity, y'all. Anyways, I feel like here in Kenya, people can be some serious, some intense bullies. And I think people are not prepared for when Kenyans decide to turn on you. It's just an unbelievable thing. And it's one thing for you to experience it on the internet, but to experience it physically here, it's more intense. I think like someone like Austin, who journey I have followed, I'm shocked that he actually is leaving Kenya over that incident. If you know how many incidences I have had in this country that were horrific, that could have ran my ass out of here too. The only difference is that I can't leave. Like, when you don't have a choice, you don't have a choice. So I literally cannot leave this Nairobi. I have to figure it out. So Austin, came here, started building some momentum and a platform. And he was really promoting the country for the beauty of what it is, right? And he was talking about all the positive things about Kenya and literally talking crap about America and how America's this and coming to Kenya and really being supportive of bringing people here. Guys, the diaspora, their diaspora, I guess. Are we diaspora or they diaspora? The Black Americans want to come here, but I think after seeing all of these Black Americans disappear really quickly out of this place, it is leaving the gap of an untold story. which is Karibu, Kenya. Inside of the length of that word, Karibu, Kenya, is the truth that exists in Nairobi that nobody here told you on YouTube. They lied to you and told you it's safe. They lied to you and told you that it's developed in the more developed country. They lied to you and told you Kenyan people are nice. They lied to you and told you that the future of investment is here. They lied to you and told you all of those things. That is only true for a very small group of people, and influencers do not exist. They also lie to you that you can come here and try to make content and be an influencer. You can't do that. Influencing in Kenya is completely different than influencing in America. And when you come here to Kenya, you got to talk about brand deals, because people in Kenya and Africa and on the continent, they don't get paid from YouTube or social media like that. They have to get sponsorships from these companies. Coca-Cola, Nivea, everybody, they have to get sponsorships, which is very difficult to get because you're competing with the people that have like 3 million followers and are local to this place, okay? So someone with Austin, like with 150K followers, it's actually lucrative in America, lucrative elsewhere, but not so lucrative here on the continent. Now, Austin made one mistake when he also came here, and it was when his content shifted. When its content shifted, it got more aggressive. And one thing about Kenya is you gotta be nice, nasty. Okay? You can't just be straight up and hardcore and giving it like it is. You got to be nice, nasty. Every nastiness has to be coated with a cup of sugar. People like their tea sweet here. Okay?
So for the Black Americans that have been in my comments for years telling me that, oh, I'm not coming to Africa. Africa cannot be as good as you claim it is. You need to leave Africa. Those people don't really like us. Well, today I'm going to tell you that I've made the decision to agree with you, not on what you've said, but I'm going to agree that you've gotten what you wanted and you have won. On top of that, there was an extreme amount of increased hostility towards me once I returned back to Africa. You know, I had a very, very big circle of people in Kenya. I had a lot of friends. I mean, man, you would think I was a popular kid in high school. When I got back, it wasn't there the same way. You know, there's plenty of people that I hung around with hundreds of times in 2025, 2024. I have yet to hear from. You know, there's people at the gym that I used to go to that I seen out and about that actively tried to avoid me.
So when Austin started to get like some of the backlash and all the passport bros started to get backlash, he changed his narrative from Kenya being a positive place to it becoming frustrating. And when he started to have his relationship with Z, which to me was a great addition, I don't know if he was prepared for what was going to happen next once they got here.
I don't know if and some of my subscribers brought up that this is something that happened once Z came around. And I would agree, a lot of this random negative repelling energy came about. So this all leaves me feeling mentally drained and feeling like I have to constantly watch my back. I started to feel like everybody wanted something from me. And this is part of what comes with being an influencer. But there was entirely too many fake relationships.
And I also feel like from a branding perspective, and I put this in the comments of their comments and they ain't listening to me, I think they did it all wrong. The transition was not right. You cannot badmouth Kenya. You cannot badmouth Kenya. I do, and I don't care. But they also call me Madame Complainer for a reason, and they tell me all I do is complain, okay? Nobody like me. They know who I am, but they don't like me, and that's cool. But at the same exact time, Austin started to get like more of the negative feedback because so many people have left that he's the only one they could target. Then they started making think pieces about him, proving why he's X, Y, and Z, telling him he's losing followers, he's going broke. And to me, I don't know why that's important to anyone's journey. Everyone has highs and lows in life, and he can always figure it out, kind of a thing. But I don't know why people really went out of their way to chase these people out. And Austin has finally bought the bullet and decided he's going to come pack up all these things and go. Crazy to me. But I think, again, The problem is that people have lied to you about what Nairobi truly is, even down to where you should be living, where you should be partying, what you should be doing, who you should be hanging out with. Those are lessons I learned the hard way after 3 years of being here, guys. I've had so many insufferable things happen to me. I've already mentioned them in a lot of my videos. I've been raped. I've been beat up to the point where I needed knee surgery, guys. I've been harassed and sent eviction notices to my house, and I paid my bills. I had to get legal help. I just feel like I've been monitored in so many different places, people being so nosy about me. I've been touched and grabbed, and all kinds of things have happened to me in Nairobi, but I still cannot go. I've been love bombed, love scammed, everything, guys, everything has happened. And I still stay here. Girl, I done been into a couple of these police stations too. Jail, a couple of these police stations. It's crazy. So I've had some really horrific experiences here in Kenya. And what works for me, to be honest, is my name, looking Kenyan, the curiosity, So a lot of these Black Americans don't have that to kind of fall back on. So sometimes I've gotten out of a lot of trouble in this country because of being Kikuyu, simply being Kikuyu. So not having that tribalistic background or support, it really puts you in a difficult position to fight back against Kenyans. But why do Kenyans keep fighting people? Especially when people are coming here to try to add value to your country. But again, the other thing I don't understand is that they accept the white influencers and the white YouTubers that come here. They accept them. I'll be watching, I'll be seeing. They accept them, but for some reason, the Black Americans, Kenyans don't like to accept. And for a long time, you got to be here for a short time, not a long time. But a lot of Kenya is still deeply rooted in British colonization. That is still more familiar to them than the American way of doing things. They still feel like we're loud and we're boisterous. Guys, I go to places and I be having to fight for my life because they would let a white man get in front of me. And I be like, who you think you is? Who you think I am? So it's not about racial tension, but there's just a different ethos between being Kenyan and being American and how those two clash together, okay? But there is no complication between being British or white and being Kenyan. As a matter of fact, it gives you a superiority. If you thought white people couldn't get more white, they do when they come to the continent. And if you didn't think that Black people could get more Black, they do when they come on the continent. Do you understand what I'm saying? So it's unfortunate, but I think when he also got into the group became a little bit problematic. Now they were able to be pinpointed out, going to the same places where all the foreigners go. Now people are seeing who they are, and they're like, oh, that's that person, because gossip culture in Kenya is tea. Even your grandmama be gossip, everybody gossip. And when you're out and about, people know who you are. They would speculate, they would take pictures, they would talk, they would It is crazy. You're not prepared for that. You're not prepared for all eyes to be on you. You're not prepared for all of the things that people think that they won't say to you, but they will make you feel. So Kenyans are not that bold unless they're on the internet, where they will go and report you, and to the point where your pages get taken down. They don't care how much effort you put into building up that page. They will tear it down in one day. And I'm telling you, they're going to call even their ancestors to come after you. That's what makes social media here in Kenya very complicated and very difficult. Now, I want to talk about the Shia Jackson thing. Guys, when I first came to Kenya, it was, listen, the first time I came, I was 15. I came when I was 2, 3, forgot about that. Came when I was 15. When I was 15, I was like, are y'all living in poo-poo houses? I was like, Mom, what is this? I know we live in a ghetto, but what is this? These are poo-poo houses. Houses legitimately made out of cow manure. And I was like, this is structurally making sense to me. At 15, I couldn't understand that. So in me in the village, poo-poo houses, outdoor toilets with the cows and mooing, I ain't want none of that. Now, since then, they've developed the land and there's houses on there. My mom obviously built a family home, and I didn't, understand exactly what I was seeing. But in my own shago, I was like, yo, ain't no way. This is where we sleeping at for a week. Okay, I eventually made some common sense of it, but I was shocked. Also, when I came back when I was 25, I recognize something. I recognize that so many little girls don't know the beauty of themselves, and it's because they don't have mirrors to stare at. They don't have phones to be looking at. Guys, I thought the exact same thing. When I saw it, it was my little cousin, and she had like a bald head and stuff like that, and she just looked so pretty, and I was like, man, I think she's never seen herself in a mirror to really see what she looks like. And we didn't have mirrors in our village in Chago. I didn't see a mirror. So at that time, this is when selfies were so a thing, where Kim Kardashian was selfie, selfie, selfie. I used to call myself the selfie queen. We were so obsessed with looking at ourselves. It wasn't even about the body. It was always about the face. You know, BBLs hadn't even made an entrance in the chat yet. It was all about face card not declining. So at this time, I kind of recognized, wow, there's probably a lot of children who have to rely on the people looking at them to tell them what they look like. You know, when you got some food on the side of your mouth and don't nobody say nothing, and then you get to a mirror and you like, so you let me walk around a whole day like that? Mirrors are similar to deodorant. They're not a necessity to people. They will just skip it and prefer to buy food or things of necessity. So when Shia Jackson made that comment, it was taken out of proportion because, again, Kenyans would rather argue and find a pinpoint reason to come and cancel you than to understand exactly what was being said. Yes, there are mirrors in Nairobi. Yes, there are mirrors in Kisumu. Yes, there are mirrors in Mombasa. Yes, there are mirrors in many places. But in these villages that make up the majority of Kenya, they're not mirrors.
I just would never be disrespectful. And also when I said that, I was not talking about Kenya as an entirety, as in everyone in Kenya does not have mirrors. I was specifically talking about that very tiny village that I went to. I remember that day they walked us to our school. They had school in like the mud huts that they made. And that's when that conversation came up. So, yeah, I would never. And I promise, chat, like, I'm really sorry. And maybe I need to do better at not explaining, but making sure I'm saying the correct words when I am speaking. But I did not mean it like that. Nor would I lie about that, because that's not something like you lie about. And I wouldn't say false information that wasn't told to me. I'm just saying that's what was told to me. And I wasn't talking about Kenya as the entirety, but yeah, I'm sorry and I apologize. And also when I said that, I was not talking about Kenya as the entirety, as in everyone in Kenya does not have mirrors. I was specifically talking about that very tiny village that I went to.
There are many people who do not know genuinely what they look like, and more specifically every day. Second of all, back in 2019, which is just like 6-7 years ago, but let's go back to 2015 when I was doing this. Phones had just started becoming a thing. Phones were this thing about pictures and phones and Instagram. Like, we were just getting into that era. So you can imagine that people had not seen when you can turn the phone around with front screens. We didn't have all of that. So when you get a kid and they see themselves for the first time on a phone, it's like, oh my gosh, whoa, is that me? Oh my God, yes, they had the same reaction to me too when we had our phones here. They were all like, give me the phone, give me the phone, give me the phone. Yes, I have people who even stopped me over an iPhone 17. Somebody was in Quick Mart and yelled at me, is that the iPhone 17? Oh my God. I wouldn't think anybody would be excited about an iPhone 17. Everyone has them here, for sure. Everyone has iPhone 17s here. Multiples, okay? So no, Kenya is not a poor country. There is poverty here, but there's also a huge socioeconomical wealth gap that conversations like this get lost in the banter and the chatter of Kenya's cancel culture. That someone can be coming to an orphanage to do a kind of thing and it get flipped back on them as if they said that people in Kileleshwa don't have mirrors. No, you guys have G-Wagons with mirrors to look at. Yes, we know you have money. We know that there's money here. And then even the Lynn lady who does her show was like, people have to stop coming here and bringing their Western ideas of people being, poor with flies on their face and having nothing to eat, to stop showcasing that part of Africa. and to stop making the world believe that poverty exists on a big platforms. Like, stop sending out that narrative. Two things can be true at the same time. That poverty still does exist. Why do you think people are mondoing? Why are people out there on the streets burning down Nairobi? Why do you think they're doing that? Because people do not have money. Why do you think the thieving is on an all high? People are scamming and booting left and right because people are genuinely suffering in Nairobi. Because although Nairobi has money, money is not accessible to the majority of people. And when you look at this new, beautiful Nairobi that has mirrors, it's not for you. It's not for Kenyans, and it's not for you. There is a completely different group of people that Nairobi is being built for. Different group of people from Mombasa, Lamu, all of those coasts, Kisumu, they are building not for you. You Kenyans cannot afford those buildings. You cannot afford them. They are not building Kilimani for you. They are not. So at the end of the day, don't come and try to at me about can't afford this, can't afford that. Because at the end of the day, who would want to live in those areas anyways, except foreigners who have no clue that you should not live in some of these areas. It is horrible and a waste of money, resources, and time and effort, okay? But at the end of the day, when we talk about the way that Kenya is being developed and what's happening in the culture, it's kind of crazy because you see where the wealth is going, but you see the people who are talking. You see the people who are protesting, and you see the people who are spending. You see the people who are, hey, cha, driving all these nice cars, and you see the ones who are on matatus. Okay? You see them. I honestly can't even tell you if I've seen a Habibi on a matatu before. Now that I'm thinking about it, I haven't seen it. Now, I will say the thing also is that it's easy to make the mistake, even alone, if you have never gone to a village, to make the mistake of thinking that your experience in Nairobi is Kenya. And for me, I've known, having traveling to coast, that there was a significant difference than Nairobi and coast, right? I've realized in living in Thika, living in Kilimani, living in Kileleshwa, living in Kiambu, I've seen like the huge difference between all of these areas. And I was fantastically impressed when I went to Kisumu. Kisumu, baby. Kisumu, baby. You are it. You are Kisumu, baby. What? Kisumu was what? I could have just packed up everything and left this daggone Nairobi if Kisumu wasn't such a far drive. It was such, guys, Kisumu. So when you travel around Kenya, you do develop a different perspective. But when you're just coming in to do missionary work, just coming in to party, just coming in to see safari, just coming in to be an influencer, you do not have a great experience of Kenya at all. And for me, I feel like I'm just finally finding myself in this country after 3 years of being here. It's very difficult, guys, and Kenyans don't make it easy for you to get in. It's not easy to do business. Not easy to do business. Trying to continue to keep up with your documentation so you stay here legally. Guys, it's a huge culture clash, a huge one. So to me, I really wish that there would be different kind of conversations before people talk about Kenya or coming to Kenya or making Americans out to be ignorant. Because there are many things that people say here, many things that people say here in Kenya that I just go, And I kind of just chuck it up to the fact that they've never traveled or kind of have been forced to mix with many different cultures like that at a high pace level to really understand how diversity changes how you think. So when you're an American and a Western person, where you're forced to critically think about so many things, have abstract concepts, so many narratives you're being told about the world, and you have to kind of bring that to the space, it can get a little bit confusing about really what it is, you know? You can get really, really confusing. Like I'm telling you, you can come here to Kenya and go, wow, it's so beautiful. And the moment you move here, you go, ay, guy mwadhani. I didn't see any of this. So it's like, I think for people to not have patience between that and patience to understand, it's crazy to me. And the way all the Black Americans went on that girl and called her all kinds of unintelligent, baby, you ain't even made it to Kenya. Sis, you haven't even gotten on that plane, probably can't afford that ticket and the accommodations because Kenya is expensive. It's expensive. You probably have never in your life gone to do any charitable duties. You've never gone to anyone's village to hug a child who's an orphan. You've done none of that. And you're there laughing at someone who at 19 that sought the wisdom to go and see something different than what she knew. And you, baby girl, are still scrolling on TikTok, asking people what's out there. Why don't you come on out there in that village and see for yourself before you laugh at somebody? Some of these villages really are rough like that. Not all of them have glitz and glam. And where she specifically went at that time in that year, that's what she experienced. And she also communicated that that is what the people tell them. There's another little part here that nobody really likes talking about. Kenya gets so much money from charitable contributions that narrative has to stay. Poverty in Kenya is a money-making business, okay? And they have to stay that way. Come here and ask yourself, and there's another thing too, that's what I'm trying to tell you. They try to say that Kenya's beautiful, Kenya's a wonderful, beautiful country. These same people will take something like this, drop it on the floor and keep walking. That same person in that Lamborghini, that same person living in Kibera, all of them would dump trash left and right, okay? Left and right, trash everywhere. Many, many people just dumping. This place is dirty. I beg of you, there's nowhere you can go in Kenya and not just see sewage and dirt and piles of just garbage everywhere. Guy, the roaches are just roachifying. There is no fumigation process in these buildings, baby. You got to fight for your damn life when it comes to roaches because the sewage is so bad and everybody just dumps shit everywhere. So if someone tells you that, they'll be like, how dare you say that? We don't throw things on the trash until you come and you smell it. Okay, now Kisumu was a little cleaner. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I'm talking about Nairobi specifically. Okay? Now, also, some of these narratives, again, you will ask yourself, well, how come the country with fast internet and great sustainable structures doesn't have sidewalks, has potholes everywhere, garbage everywhere, dust flying around like we're in the middle of the Sahara Desert? How is that possible? Because Kenya invests only in what will make its country look good, not what's actually good for the country or for the people. Because again, Kenya is not being built for Kenyans. It's being built for somebody else. And we're going to all fuck around and figure out who's coming. Who is coming? We're all going to figure out who. The wealth gap is going to become like this. And I'm praying I'm up here with them. So at the end of the day, guys, when you see a lot of these think pieces or comments that are coming from Kenya, don't take my word for it. Just come here and pay that ticket price and come here and see what people are actually doing on the ground, what's happening, or subscribe to my channel where I can just tell you the truth. Okay? But cancel culture that Kenya got, y'all got to stop doing that. Because that nice nasty is not nice. Okay, it's not nice, and y'all run around here smiling all the time at people. Kenyans will smile at you, backstabbers. They ain't your friend. Smile in your face and they stab you in the back, backstabbers. They are not your friend. That's one rule Kenyans themselves will tell you. You don't have a friend in this world, in this country. You better go figure it out yourself, and everybody's trying to climb to where they need to climb, and if you're in their way, you're going to get out their way. And you can even see that attitude in how people drive. I was even listening to Marugi say that because she has a Mercedes, people get out of her way. Madame. They get out of her way. Hey, I need to go and buy a Mercedes. Because the way people are on top of me, Kenyan culture is just something completely different than what social media can tell you. And that's why so many people have quietly left. And so the last thing I'll say too is that if you want to come here and be a Kenyan influencer, prepare yourself. Because Kenyans subscribe. Kenyans, they follow. And Kenyans, they tune in. They are watching to see your downfall. They're watching to see what you're up to. They are watching. I've never seen people watch more in my life. And the unfortunate part is that you don't get paid for their eyeballs. You don't make any money because Kenyans are viewing your things. What you do is you become popular here. And being popular in this country doesn't necessarily mean you're going to have a popular experience. The best thing you can do by coming to Kenya is be quiet and go into your little hobbit hole and live your life. That's the best you can do. That's the best you can do. And then there are people like me who have absolutely no choice but to put themselves out there and try their best and deal with what comes your way, okay? But I'm telling you, Kenya is not for the faint-hearted. Also, about the Shia Jackson thing. When I was talking about the whole selfie era and Kim Kardashian and stuff like that, when I noticed that that was a thing and I recognized many children did not know what they look like and they relied on other people to tell them what they look like, and that the standard of beauty wasn't there in a way in these villages, like there just wasn't that concept of love yourself, selfie, and that idea of self-consumption just wasn't there. Not saying it's necessarily important, but the little child, I'm trying to explain this in a way where y'all don't cancel me, but I'm gonna just say what I'm trying to say. A lot of these little girls don't know how beautiful they are. That's not ingrained in them. They all kind of have the same hairstyles. They go to the same boarding schools. There's quite literally no individualism. There's no like creativity here. You're just, everybody looks like, it's kind of even hard to tell who's a boy and who's a girl. They'll shave your head off for the convenience of it. So when I turned 25, I spent $5,000. I don't know if I should have spent that much money. Maybe my friend at the time ate half the money. But I was like, for my birthday, I want to give back. So I did an event called Love Yourself Selfie. And I wanted to give these little girls an opportunity to see themselves in a more girlified way. Like to put that concept of beauty in their head, right? Or for them to look in the mirror and see, like look and see yourself. See yourself, girl. See yourself. So I hired makeup artists, I hired runway walkers, I got t-shirts for them. We had like a little fashion show. We let people in the community come and support them. They had makeup done, they ate, and we donated some furniture to the orphanage. There are no words to describe this feeling. Love Yourself Selfie was a dream, but in this moment, it became a reality. Like any good vision, there's something that sparks it. And for me, it was her. There was that moment when I looked into the eyes of my 7-year-old cousin for the first time. When I glanced at her deeper, I saw a shy, timid girl that never thought I would notice her or that I would appreciate the bursting beauty in her crooked smile and bald head. She doesn't know it, but she gave me a beautiful way of seeing life. I chose Love Yourself Selfie because I really wanted to find a way to bring the concept of a selfie from the US here to Kenya. And while we truly use it to be really, into ourselves, to be self-absorbed, but I truly felt like kids here could appreciate it. And it was all inspired from one of my little cousins who I, again, had that experience with of like, wow, I don't think you know that you're beautiful. And I don't think you wake up in the morning every day and get to look in your mirror and see that beauty and like, let it fuel you in a way. So it was beautiful. And yeah, it was beautiful, but I totally had that same like experience. And it just comes from you living in a Western world where beauty is a propaganda, beauty is payment, beauty is a must, beauty is a necessity. Today, beauty has been more articulated and is more in the forefront, but being beautiful is not accessible to everyone. Guys, beauty is a commodity. It's not accessible to everyone. It is expensive to be beautiful. Now, some people are just born naturally beautiful, but when it comes to buying hair, makeup, lashes, clothes, not everybody has that. But that's also what everybody sees. So to me, I kind of feel like I don't understand why that went over people's heads. But for me, I was absolutely moved to do something about it. And I was proud of what I did, but that only came out of my different experience and my aha moment and my awareness. And being able to share that does change the narrative, but my actions improved what I saw in a way. Like, I really feel like that event would have impacted them to let them have that confidence of being cheered for, being cute. It's just like what little girls deserve, guys. So I am gonna share with you guys a little bit snippet of that video, and you guys can go and watch the full long format about it if you really want to see the full video. But guys, we gotta just stop this shit in Kenya. Madame, stop that shit. Okay? Let people come and express themselves and have different point of views without you wanting to tear them down into little pieces and destroy their entire identity. And then make someone a laughing stock globally. Kenyans, you have power. Okay? Use that for your ruto. Don't even waste time. Don't even waste time trying to go call other people foolish and ignorant when the stuff that happens in here, it'll shock you. That's what nobody wants to tell you about Kenya. But I'm your girl. Make sure you subscribe, guys. I hope you like this video. I do want to start doing some more things about topics about Kenya, like what's happening, what's really going on and stuff like that. And show you guys more about my thoughts and stuff like that, if that's a thing you want to know. So make sure you go ahead and you subscribe and you like this video, share it with someone. And Shia Jackson, girl, I'm sorry. On behalf of my people, chill. On behalf of my people, I'm sorry. But it won't be the last one. Hell, as long as it ain't me next.